What is up, everybody, and welcome to Everything's Plastic. Welcome to another Saturday Night Channel Spotlight, Hangout, interview, whatever you want to call it. All right, so we have the man Collects here tonight. If you haven't checked out his channel yet, definitely definitely check out his channel. And lots of cool stuff, lots of cool toy hunts. Very excited about this interview, this hangout. We are in a lot of the same group chats and stuff like that, but I still haven't talked to him face to face, or as close as we're going to get to being face to face. So without hesitation and wasting time, let's get to it, man. Welcome to Man Clicks to the show.
I'm ready. I got my yes and no answers ready.
What's that?
I got my yes and no answers ready.
So I keep it nice and straightforward. I know Phil's got his introductions. He's got all that stuff. But my computer skills are very basic, and I like to keep it simple. So we'll get started by just telling us about your channel.
Man Collects Toy Hunting. I mean, that's pretty much all I do. I've got a little bit of stuff. You go back on my earlier where I tried reviews and stuff like that, but I found, pretty early on, I need to stick to the toy hunts. But like I said, I mean, people go on because I do so many of them that I'm probably just trying to do it to pump out content. I mean, no, before I started this, I was probably toy hunting more. Now I got to stop because I got to come in and edit all these videos together and put them out. But like I said, love the hobby, love collecting. I mean, I was talking in the back. You can see a small sample here. I'm in I think a 12 by 28 building, and it's full pretty much from wall to wall of crap. Wow. So like I said, I love this stuff, love growing the hobby, and that's what I got into this for, is just try to grow in the hobby and meet some more of these addicts.
Yeah, for sure. So how long have you, how old is your channel? How long have you been making content?
January 12th made me a year. I think that was when I posted. I think I joined and created the channel on like the 3rd, but to be honest, I filmed everything the first week of January, but I was nervous to put it out there. I thought, man, this is going to bomb. I'm going to get all these hateful comments. I just kept putting it off, and finally on the 12th, I decided to take the plunge, and I've been going at it hardcore ever since.
Yeah. No, it's you've been doing awesome, man. It's I wish a little bit jealous of your views. You get a lot of views off your videos. Well deserved, I gotta say. Like you make really good content, and very exciting, man. Very exciting toy hunts. And we have Cobweb Collector there in the chat, and we have T3 Collects, the two Chris's. And yeah, Cobweb Collector says, "What's up, T3?" So what's your favorite type of content? I know you said you've tried some reviews and that kind of stuff and shorts, but what's your favorite type of content to make overall?
My favorite thing is the toy hunts, of course, just because the excitement of not knowing what you're going to find and stuff like that. Honestly, I kind of like the reviews, but I couldn't find my niche with that. The shorts, actually, like I told you before in group chats, I copied you and RB, and then Phil doing those 60-second things on the shorts. I felt that was a little bit better, but like I said, I like the toy hunting. I want to do more Lego stuff. If I ever do a live stream, it'd probably be Lego builds and stuff like that, just to have something to do in the background in case anybody gets on there. But like I said, right now, toy hunting, that's definitely my favorite thing to do, to get out there and share with everybody.
Yeah, the model kits are fun. What I always say is I'm going to be doing a model kit anyways. Why not film it and chat and hang out with people while you're doing it? But I love doing model kits live, and I love chatting and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, give that a try. Lego builds, stuff like that. It's a fun time. So do you do model kits and Lego builds?
That. Yeah, I love Lego. Actually, I collected Lego more than I collected toys until about probably 2020 or 2021. I started swinging more towards the toy side of it. Lego, I still love, but the price has gotten ridiculous. I mean, everything's went up, but Legos really went up. And then the room. I mean, trying to find room to put action figures is hard enough. But you build these big expansive Lego sets. Even trying to design your shelving, you may have one Lego set that's that tall, and the others are that tall. It's hard to find room to display all of it. So, kind of had to give it up a little bit. And like I said, I was going to start a live stream honestly in September, around the time I hit 1,000 subscribers. But my one where I try not to cuss on my channel, because my kids watch it and I don't want them to hear that. If I'm building a Lego set or I'm building a model kit and something goes wrong, I'm going to let something slip out. I know it, and they're going to give me a lecture. So I try to be good for the little ones.
Yeah, it's the same here. My son watches it, and I try to keep everything family friendly as much as possible. But like I always say, stuff and things happen, and sometimes you just can't help swearing. So what got you started? You said, like, what
Oh,
was there any channel in particular that motivate you to do toy hunts, or just something you always wanted to do?
really, like I said, going back to Lego stuff, I used to watch like Brixie and Solid Brick Studios, and they would do these live stream live builds. And I thought, I could do that. It looks like fun and get to interact with people. And then one of my friends actually kind of swerved me towards toys because they started putting out the Ghostbuster, the re-releases of the old Ghostbuster figures, and he was showing me that, and I got into that and just started watching the Toy Hunters. I don't really know when we want to start this thing. I watched Seth a lot when he was on MCE, and he
Yeah,
quit. And I had thought about doing a channel a little bit. Then I thought, okay, it's like I told Yukon Phil. Here's the time I can get on there. Seth's going away. There's another handsome, overweight, chubby little collector needs to get on YouTube. But now's the time to start it. But the biggest thing I wanted to do, Kent Pool Collects, and then Man Cave and Greg Cook was three that I watched religiously because they're close to me. They're in about a 3-hour circle from where I'm at. And I could watch them and see them finding things. And I knew when they saw it in their markets, it was about 2 weeks to a month before it came to mine. And that's what I
awesome.
wanted to do. I want to be able to help people. And that's what I like the most in the comments. Somebody will comment, "Thank you. I didn't know this was out there." Or, "I saw it on in your stores. I started looking and I found it a couple weeks later." Kind of getting out and helping people in the hobby find the stuff they're looking for.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. So, what's the best thing about having a channel so far?
Best thing, the interaction, quite honestly, meeting like
Yeah,
you. I mean, I hadn't seen until I saw you on Yakking with Yukon. I hadn't found your channel. T3, all the guys in those group chats, is getting to know the community because these are pages. If you go on YouTube and search the stuff, they usually pump the bigger channels to you.
yeah,
The man caves and all that. So a lot of these the up and comers I didn't know about. So that's been the best thing about this is getting involved in the community and meeting a lot of you guys.
yeah.
Well, meeting
We
like
de-
this, not meeting face to face, but
yeah, we definitely have a good time in the group chats.
I know I try
The
to
stuff
keep it
that we
clean.
say
You
in
guys
those
are so
group
rough
chats.
in
So, has it been mostly positive experience having a channel? You encounter a lot of
Yeah, I'm not having. I mean,
negativity.
everybody gets trolls. You get hecklers every now and then, and then my biggest thing, I need to be thicker skinned with that. If I get somebody that pops up a crappy comment, my immediate thing, I want to fire back with something sarcastic. But I try to get away from that. But I would say if I had to get a percent, I'd say less than 5% has been negative.
Yeah,
Most of the stuff on there is positive and supportive, and you're always going to have trolls out there. But like I said, it's been fun, and this is a way too. When I'm dead and gone from this world, my kids are going through all this stuff. They can go back and if they want to watch these videos, they'll see when I found whatever they're looking at out here and kind of get a little backstory on it and give them a little bit, I guess, like I don't know, a virtual scrapbook or something on
yeah,
how I bought all this stuff.
awesome. Any regrets or anything like that about starting a channel, or like you said, it's just
No, I can't really think of anything. I said so far it's been pretty positive. So
yeah,
I can't
same
think of
here.
really any negatives to it.
Yeah, sometimes I regret all the time that it took to like get started because first when I started the channel, I was spending like 30 to 40 hours a week just trying to pump out content reviews and just try to get my name out there a bit. And it was and I'm working a full-time job. I think I just burned myself out too much. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree with that. When I first started, my thought for the first 2 months, I'm going to do a video every day. No matter what it
yeah,
is, I'm putting something out there every day. Because if I do want to grow this thing, that's what I need to do to get my channel pushed. YouTube will see me putting content. Hopefully they'll push me if it's, gets any views. But
yeah,
I got to the same way after about that 2 month mark of doing it every single day. It's like, oh man, I'm almost to the point I didn't want to go to Walmart. And that's when I
yeah,
kind of got my schedule 3 days a week. Is like, this is turning into a job, and this is not going to be a job. This ever interferes in my personal life or something, I'm done with it. But
yeah.
like I
I
said,
got to that
doing
point.
the 3 days a week thing's pretty good. I like it now. It gives a good balance to everything.
Yeah, yeah. I got to that point for a little bit. Kind of there now. I don't really have any interest in collecting right now, especially for the past 2 or 3 weeks. I don't want to spend money. I don't want to do reviews. I'm just kind of, I guess, going through a little funk of just tired of it all and just need a break, right? So I took a break from social media. I didn't do live streams, but now I'm re-energized and back. Hopefully. I debated giving up the channel. I really did, and over the past few weeks. But have you ever thought about quitting?
There was a point. I mean, I've gotten pretty good now. I think my channel is kind of consistent. I don't mean this to sound braggy or anything, but I usually get good views and things like that. It's kind of makes it a little bit easier to keep going. But now there was a point. It's around the time I probably hit around 500 subs. My channel was just burning up. I mean, I was gaining 15, 20 subs a day there at one point, and the views were going up. And then all of a sudden, man, the bottom just fell out. I mean, if I went like about a month, I thought I lost about 20 or 30 subs. My views went down to like 300 views a video, and they were getting 6, 7, 8, 900 a video. And I thought, this isn't worth it. For all the time and effort, and all of a sudden it just craps out. I was like, I'm going to give it up. But then it hit another little hot streak, and I've kind of been riding it since. But other than that, that was more my personal hubris, I guess. Like, they were watching. Why'd they stop? So, like I said, I kind of got over that. But
yeah, for sure. So we have Carol in chat, and T3 said, "Geez, rub it in already."
Man, that guy trolls me everywhere I go. Can we get him out of here?
Yeah, same here, man. So what's the overall goal of your channel? You're already monetized, but is there a set amount of subs that you want to reach, or just keep riding it out? Or
well, that's one thing that I said, I think, on another stream that I started getting messages about asking was I going to quit or whatever. I don't really know, to be quite honest, what I want to do next or how I want to take the channel. My main goal when I started, I wanted to get 1,000 subs, and I didn't know when I first started my monetization. I mean, I know you could get paid from YouTube, but I didn't know what the process was. I didn't know you had to have 1,000 subs. But everybody always talked about in the videos, help me get to 1,000. That's the goal.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get that. Well, I hit it, and then it's kind of like, well, hell, what do I do now?
Yeah.
But my goal now, what I kind of thought about today and looking where I'm at, I think it's attainable. I hope. I'd like to get to 1,500 subs by the end of the year. If I can hit that, I'll set another little goal once 2024 starts. I wanted to get 300,000 views this year as well, and I hit that. I passed it yesterday, so I got that one. So if I can get to the 1,500, I'll be happy.
What's your current subscriber count?
I think I'm at 1,450.
1,450. So you're fairly close. It's very, very doable for sure.
1,456. I need 43 beautiful people to subscribe to my channel in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
So if anybody watches this, subscribe, please. Get them to 1,500. So are you a numbers person? Do you get caught up in the numbers and the analytics and all that stuff?
The only thing I really look at, I look at my view count. I keep a check on the number of subs and stuff like that to see where it's at. But now, as far as like ratio to thumbs up and thumbs down, I don't look at that. I did first on, and I would see my video get 3 or 4 thumbs downs, and it would be like, why? I mean, it's just good stuff. Why am I getting thumbs down? But now I don't dig into that all that much. The only real average that I look at when I put a video up, I kind of like to see about 100. I like to hit 100 subs in the first hour. That's the only real numbers that I watch on this until a couple of days later, I'll check again to see if I've hit my 1,000 mark or not. But as long as I get I want 100 subs in the first hour if I can. I like their videos to get at least 500. If they get 500 views, I feel like they're a success in my eyes. So.
Mine is a minimum of 100. I don't care if it's a short, a video, whatever case may be. I just want 100 views. And you would think with almost 10,000 subs, that would be attainable, but YouTube, man, I don't know. It's a mystery. I understand the subs or the shorts, but the long form content, I just can't figure it out.
See, I know I can't figure out shorts.
Shorts,
I can't get views. Easy. I mean, I've been trying to do an experiment here in the last 3 or 4 days. I've been throwing out shorts like crazy, just seeing how they do. But there'll be some I'll record and I'll think, okay, this is going to be huge. This is going to get 1,000 views and 100 people will watch it. And then I'll put something out there of nothing and it will get 2,000 or 3,000 views. I can't figure the shorts part of it out at all.
No, I caught on to a few trends and stuff like that. Basically, I hit big with Five Nights at Freddy's because every time a trailer would drop or something like that, I just push Five Nights at Freddy's content. And that's what made my channel grow. But it's all from shorts, right? So it still sucks, man. Because I talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, you're almost at 10,000 subs. I was like, yeah, but if you can't get 100 views, what's the point of subs?
Right. Yeah, the shorts too. Like I said, everybody told me if you want to get subs, you got to do shorts. You got to do shorts. Well, I haven't been consistent with them. Like I had the hunt videos, but all the shorts I've got on now, the only one I've done well with, the Spider-Man No Way Home figures. I found those very early after they got released the whole way. That one got like 6,000 views, but I gained like 16 subs off of it.
Yeah.
I'll have a hunt video out there. I'll get 30 subs off a hunt video, but it has like 1,000 views, but a 6,000 view short only got like 16. So I don't see the shorts providing that, but it may be where I'm not very consistent with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like T3 said there, I'm whoring myself out with the shorts right now.
That's what I've been doing for the past year. Just putting out 2 or 3 shorts a day and just hoping for the best. And
I like doing. I think that's the quick way too. Like I said, if you want to get like finding stuff at Ross, something you don't expect to show up. That's what I've been trying to do here lately, because the Ross fad, trying to cash in on that. I'm not going to lie, to get views out of them, but still, the stuff that keeps hitting. Some people don't have access to stuff like we do. They're not in other toy hunter groups where other hunters show them what they're finding. So again, just trying to get that out. Say, hey, if you want this thing, go look for it. It's out there. I like doing that. That's more fun, I think, sometimes than the toy hunts. Just doing those little quick things just to get it out there and see who finds it, and hopefully it helps them.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any channel out there now that you would like to work with? We spoke about it earlier.
A lot of you guys
live streams, but
I mean, T3. I think one day I like to do something with him. I've gotten to know Carlos pretty good. All joking aside, he's a great guy. I've really enjoyed getting to meet him. A lot of those guys in that group chat there. Phil, I wouldn't mind do something with Phil. I kind of feel like I owe Phil something, because Phil kind of put me out there first. I'm a nobody now, but when I was even a bigger nobody back then. But a lot of you guys that we chat with on Instagram, I'd love to do collaborations with all you guys if we could. I think it'd be great. If you watch the big guys, Dub and all them, they get together and they go out and do stuff at these big toy shows. I think it'd be great if we all could do something like that. Whether we filmed or not, it'd just be great to get to hang out and I guess learn a little more about each other.
Here Carlos goes with 10 inches. I was trying to figure out how long it would take for 10 inches to pop up here. But so, do you watch a lot of YouTube?
Yeah, that's about all I watch anymore. Like I said, a lot of you guys, I try to watch everybody's stuff that I can to keep up with. And then I watch the same ones I've always watched. I still watch Man Cave. I still watch Greg Cook. Kentpool kind of stopped doing toy hunts because, again, they kind of show me what's going to be coming to my area pretty soon for new stuff. But since the Ross revolution begins, I've probably lived and slept in Ross stores since then. I haven't got to watch a whole lot of stuff. I got a backlog right now. A lot of guys' videos I need to watch.
Yeah, I really like Man Cave, and I think Greg Cook puts out awesome content too. Like, you can tell that he's genuine, and he really, really likes toys. Like, he's not just making content just to make content. Like, he enjoys what he's doing. And when he's talking about stuff, he really enjoys what he's doing, and he does like a lot of different content too, right? It's not just reviews. Like, he's building like Legos, he does models, he does everything, right? So
even 3D printers, he's doing custom stuff there now as well. Yeah. He's hitting a breath. That's why he's got the subs, I'd say, and the views that he gets, and he's hitting almost every spectrum of collecting there. For some of us,
I like watching people. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh, you're
There's
fine.
A little bit of a delay. I like watching people when they actually enjoy what they're doing, right? And you can tell. You can't hide it. You can't hide it from people. So sorry.
That's one thing. Even with mine, I don't want to ever come across as fake. If anything, I guess I'm a little more reserved. I mean, people have made comments before about me putting on a show. When I find something in a store, I'm like, oh, I can't believe I found this. You can go ask my wife. She'll tell you I'm probably more childish than that in a store when I find something. She likes to tell a story. I was trying to find the last Ronin NECA figures here a while back when I was first hit, and she saw one. We were in Walmart, and she ran and picked it up and was going to turn around and show it to me. Well, I saw it and got excited, and before I even knew what I was doing, I just snatched it from her and started looking at it. And for whatever reason, that made her crack up that a grown man snatched a toy out of her hand to go look and see what she found. So
I'm the same way now. Very rarely do I find anything in the wild. I usually just order all my stuff from one of my buddies. Now it kind of takes away from doing toy hunts and stuff, but like I've said in the previous groups, there's not much around here anyways, right? So I'm kind of restricted to just ordering stuff online. But man, I love to be able to go out and hunt. It used to be a lot different first when I started collecting, but since COVID and everything else, everything kind of dried up here, and it kind of sucks. Cobweb Collector says 10-inch ruler is 2 inches short or too short. EC Collecting's here. Hey, Colin.
What's up, Colin?
So, what's your top 5 toy related YouTube channels that you like to watch?
Oh,
And it
top
doesn't need to be
five.
friends.
I'm not going to rank them because I don't want anybody to give me
No,
crap if
no.
I mention them as I think about them. But
Yeah,
um,
just top 5.
I like watching T3 stuff because T3 is finding all the good stuff at Ross. He's kind of struggling on the X-Men figures he can't seem to find, but somebody else can. But like I said, I like to watch him. I like watching Greg Cook. I've always liked watching Greg. I like Man Cave. Let's see, that's 3 of them.
Yep.
Who else here? Like I said, I used to like watching Kent Pool because most of the time he was the one when I saw something in his stores. It was like a week. I knew then it was almost in my area
Yeah.
when it hit him. But I'm trying to think who else I can throw in there that I really watch a lot. Oh, JB's Toy Trunk. I don't want to throw another one in there and just go with 6 disavowed action figures. I really enjoy watching disavowed. And that's the ones I normally watch. But like I said, I try to watch everybody's stuff in our little group. As far as the favorites, I probably throw them up there kind of ahead of the others.
Yeah, cool. And what is your top 5 unrelated toy channels?
Oh, unrelated. To be honest, I don't really watch a lot of stuff anymore that's not toys. I watch movie trailers. I go in there and find trailers and stuff a lot like that. But usually, if I watch a little bit of TV every night or on my phone or something, usually my kids dictate it. But like I said, the small window I get, by the time I watch the guys I like to watch, I really don't have time to watch anything else. So them have the TV.
I find myself watching the weirdest stuff like Beard Meets Food. So it's just a guy, he's British, and he just goes around all across like the States, Europe, everywhere, just taking out food challenges and stuff. So I watch a lot of that stuff.
I watch older action movies a lot of the time if I'm not on YouTube. I mean, most of them on YouTube, I'm watching toy content, but Predator, Commando, those old movies like that. I watch that crap more than I watch about anything. Batman '89, stuff like that. I'm behind. I am big time behind on movies and TV shows. There's a lot of stuff I haven't seen. I've been threatened to be strapped to chairs and have to watch Eternals and some other stuff there to get caught up. But I haven't watched MCU. I think I watched Multiverse of Madness, but I don't think that and Endgame's the last ones I watched of that stuff. But
you can skip Eternals.
The movies and stuff that I used to.
You can skip Eternals. You're not missing much with that one.
I only know one person that sings the praises of that, and you still got his name on the screen there. So.
I know. I always give him crap about it. And Carlos said he loves Beer Meets Food. And I've been into Joel Hansen. Too much information there, T3. I don't need to know who you've been into. Joel Hansen's good. Joel Hansen is not far from me in Newfoundland. Actually, he's just a 8-hour ferry ride across to Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, wherever. So, fellow Canadian, Joel Hansen. So, it's always a good time watching him as well. So, what's the greatest milestone that you feel you accomplished since you had your channel?
Well, again, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging with this stuff. Really, hitting 1,000 in under a year. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't understand. I never tracked this stuff. The ones I were watching already had 5, 6, 8,000 subs, if not more. But I thought it took forever to hit 500. But then when I hit 500, I put a post out on Instagram or I put it on YouTube. I don't remember about finally getting to 500 subs. You won't believe the hate messages. Not hate, but messages on Facebook. You're bragging. Blah 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 or whatever like that. Then I started realizing, okay, I did hit that pretty quick. Then talking to other toy channels, but I thought that's pretty cool because I honestly had 0. I didn't think anybody would watch this stuff. I thought I'd get around maybe 10 subs by the time my family and friends got through it. I never dreamed people would want to watch the stuff I was putting out there. So that's kind of a combo. I didn't think it would succeed, and it's doing all right. So
yeah, no, it's awesome. I never ever thought I'd be where I'm to like at all. I put my son and I put out a video, and I'm like, if I get 10 views off of this, I'm happy, right? But it's
I think the only video I got, and I haven't checked it in forever. The first video I put up, going back and watching that now, I was like, oh, there's been a couple of times I thought about just taking it down, taking it off YouTube. But like I said, anybody that watched that, if anybody on here watched that first hunt video I did, I really appreciate it because man, that sucked. I really got better as the time went on.
You got to keep it up there though. Don't take it down.
I thought maybe if I ever do like a live thing, maybe do a watch along, for my 1-year anniversary and watch that first hunt video again and sit there and make fun of myself. So.
Yeah, I actually like going through channels' older content. When I started watching Foosh, And just seeing where Robo started off, what is like how his channel started and where he started off and where he's to now, it's crazy how good he's gotten, right? Because personally, I
And with
think
mine, I don't want
finishes.
to get too over. I don't want my channel to look like overproduced or commercial or something. I don't know how to really word that. But like when I first started, it was me sitting in my truck, doing wrap ups. Now I'm sitting here with I've had this microphone for years. Anything fancy I went and bought, but
Yeah,
I'm trying to put graphics in there. And I'm a tech nerd. I like computers, I like messing with stuff like that. So the more I mess with my software and I find all the little flashy gizmos I can put on the screen here, I start loading it down. But I don't want it to look like some. I don't know. I don't want it to look too fake. I guess at some time I want to calm that down a little bit, but.
yeah, you got to
Like I
teach me how
said,
to
yeah,
do
I had
stuff.
none of that stuff when I first started. I was sitting in the cab of my truck trying to hold my phone steady up on the steering wheel and trying to show all the toys I bought that day. I kind of miss doing that sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Uh, so we're actually going through these questions really, really fast. So, but I'd slow it down a bit, I guess. How long have you been collecting in total?
Oh man, total about my whole life. I started the first thing I ever really got into obsessing with was back in the early '90s. So they started. I think I can't remember the company now that done it, but the Marvel Universe trading cards. I don't know if you ever saw anything like that, but
Yeah,
the series one of those, the elementary school I went to, I mean, that whole school was obsessed with those things. That's the only cards that I've ever gotten that I actually traded with friends to get the entire set. But yeah, that introduced me. I knew Batman. You knew the big characters, from movies and stuff like that. But I had no idea about comics and what all that was. That got me, hooked on that kind of stuff. I collected comics and trading cards up to probably about. I graduated high school in '99, so probably maybe a year after I got out of school or so, I kind of got away from it. And then I got back into it again hardcore probably around 2013, 2014, and kind of been going ever since. But I've always enjoyed it. Like I said, I've come in and out of it a few times, but this is the most, I guess, in depth, of course, I've ever been. Now that I have a dedicated room, I'm doing things on YouTube and all of that. So just it's grew. Hopefully, it doesn't grow much more. I'm gonna have to buy another one of these builds, all this stuff.
so what do you collect? A bit of everything, or I see obviously I see McFarlane's in the background here, but what's your what do you normally collect?
And action figures is the number one thing. I used to kind of do the trading cards, but I've kind of gotten out of that over the last year or so. Like I said, Legos I've gotten out of. Action figures now is the main thing, and I'd say the Legends, DC, of course, is number one. I've got most of this room is McFarlane, but that and Legends. But with Mark McFarlane, I do enjoy the DC characters and all that. But I've always been a Marvel guy. Everybody assumes I'm this encyclopedia of DC knowledge because of the
Yeah,
McFarlane's there. I grew up reading Marvel comics most of the time. The only reason I bought McFarlane all that much, he was cheaper.
yeah,
It was $25 a figure for every Marvel Legend, where only the Build-A-Figures were that price of McFarlane. He's usually 19, $20. He's a little bit cheaper, and that's why I kind of buy a little more of his stuff.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, Marvel or McFarlane's used to always be a 10 to $12 cheaper, right? But I never ever got into McFarlane's until past year and a half. I started collecting McFarlane's, and then I started going back and trying to get all the older ones, and then yeah, that can get costly too.
Yeah, I got to slow down. I get obsessive with this stuff. I buy one or two, and like you see back here, this is what it turns into. I buy things that characters I don't even know just because
Yeah,
it's the latest, newest thing. So I'm trying to calm down a little bit from that and trying to pump the brakes a little bit because I always talk about my wife on my channel, but she was gracious enough to let me buy a whole space for this. I don't think I'd have that same leeway if I say, "Honey, I need another one of these buildings now." So I need to build on. I'm gonna have a man cave bigger than our house here if I don't slow down.
so, what's your favorite thing overall about collecting?
Oh, favorite thing about it. It's a rush for me sometimes. Like I said, I love when before I started doing YouTube, you would see something announced, and then you go out there and the first time you see it, I mean, that feeling. I don't know if anybody else gets that. I don't know if it's I don't want to say it's adrenaline finding a plastic toy in a toy aisle, but you go out there and you see it, and you get that thing. It's like, oh yes, the thing you've been looking for, and you find it. I like that little rush about it. That's
Yeah,
what's fun. And then, I was out of box collector for a long time. Then I started getting more inbox collector just from the aspect of I know once I hate to talk morbidly, but once I'm gone and my kids, they want to sell this stuff, they're going to get more money out of this if it's inbox. So I
yeah,
switched to inbox for that reason and because it's easier to display, stuff doesn't fall over. But like I said, I used to like getting it out, messing around with it. And I'm starting to get more into that now. I had actually bought and forgot about Ollie's, the Multiverse of Madness, this Build-A-Figure wave. So I've got it laying here beside me. So I'm going to rip into these here probably sometime tonight or tomorrow and put that together. But just sitting here, dinking around with it and trying to position it around and I'm trying to say display it, I guess. But I just enjoy the whole thing. I like coming out here and just looking around. I like seeing stuff that I went and spent forever trying to find. Then I look and see, I found it there. And like Colin said, it's gives you something to do. And for me, also, it's stress relief. I've got a stressful job at work. I don't want to say it's bad. I love my job, but Target's 5 minutes down the road. So if I get annoyed and aggravated at work, I get in the truck, I drive down the road, I walk around 15, 20 minutes in the toy aisle, and that goes away. And then I come back to work and I'm focused and ready to go the rest of the day or something like that. So
for sure,
stress reliever. It's a stress reliever, but it's a good stress reliever.
Yeah, for sure. Do you do like photographs and that kind of stuff when you take it out, play around?
Very loosely. I mean, you might see in the group chat there, I've taken some pictures. Most of the time I stand them up on my desk, and I don't do like anything like trying to get a cool background. It's just right here on my desk. You'll see lamps and wires and stuff hanging behind it. But yeah, I like messing around with something like that. That's something I like to probably mess with a little bit more as I move forward and take some of this stuff out. I'm a big horror fan. Love Friday the 13th. I don't know if you can see on my shelf, but Jason's about to whack Batman back here on this shelf. But that Friday the 13th Part 7 NECA figure, I've done a lot of stuff with that, messing around, taking pictures and different poses and stuff. So,
yeah, what is about action figures that draws you in? Like, what about action figures what is it that you like about action figures? I'm trying to say.
I like because the pop culture stuff, the comics. You read the comics and you get immersed in the stories. Or I always did. And I think it was cool that you can read. I used to read Batman, Punisher, X-Men, stuff like that. And then you go out and get the figures, and you've got that character, in your hand that you can mess around when you're a kid and do stuff with and stuff like that. Make your own adventures, change the teams up and stuff like that. But I think it's cool that you can read a book or watch a movie or read a comic book, and then you can go out and get a figure of that, and you can have a little representation of that, on your shelf, or something you went and watched with a family member that you really liked. I'll throw a Jason movie out there. You can have a figure on your shelf. When you look at that, it reminds you of that. Like I remember going, staying at the house, staying up late with my older brother, watching Jason movies, and him convincing me, Jason was real, and all that stuff. So. It's the memories and nostalgia connected with it that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Same here. A lot of it brings back like childhood memories, like you said, and I just get caught up in how it's designed, how it's all put together, the paint, just the sculpt. I can sit down for like, sometimes I'm there 10, 15, 20 minutes just like staring at it and kind of taking it all in, right? Because when I was younger, I used to draw, and so I'm kind of a nerd for how it's designed, you know what I mean? So I just kind of sit down and pick it apart. I think that's why I like doing reviews so much, because you really analyze how it's made.
I get the opposite way. I don't pay enough attention to that stuff. I get it and I get caught up like, oh my Lord, this is the Nolan Batman or something. This looks awesome. And I'll use that as an example. They had that one, it just came out, the Bane Build-A-Figure, which the Bane Build-A-Figure sucked. But I was looking at the Batman, looking at the face, like this looks like Christian Bale and this thing's pretty cool. And then somebody put something on there about it was gray instead of black. I'm like, gray? And I pick it up. I was like, well, shit, it is gray. I get caught up too much in being excited for having the character, and I don't pay enough attention to the small details on it. And some of these guys will tell you they've used that same figure body on this figure and that figure and that figure. I'm like, they did? And then you go back and look at them. I was like, well, yeah, they did.
Yeah,
that's the stuff I need to get better versed with.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't. If I did a Marvel Legend now, I can't tell you. I can tell you some of the characters that I already use that body, but I don't really get too involved in that. I mean, all toy companies reuse parts, so it's first when I started doing reviews, I would bring it up. Oh yeah, well this torso is used on this and this and this, but it's so I don't know. It's so much reuse that it's pointless to even bring up anymore. And like you said, it's just cool.
They give McFarlane a hard time about that, and a lot of the others too. But you go back and I've got a wall over here, and you can't see it, but it's got a bunch of the old Toy Biz Marvel Heroes figures on them, and I've got some superpowers right beside of it. I've got Flash and Daredevil right beside each other, and it's basically the same figure, just with different paint jobs. So, like I said, they've been doing it from the beginning of this stuff. But it does get a little bit ridiculous when you get a lot of hype built up for this new figure, and then it comes out and just a repaint, of a previous body. Like, Hush Batman, McFarlane, he's hoarded that thing out as much as he can. At least 4 or 5 different Batman figures now that have that
Yeah.
same body.
Yeah, he's getting too. I don't know. There's way too many repaints now. I'm okay with some repaints, but he's going crazy with it.
I stopped buying them. And when he first started the Jokerized stuff, the Dark Detective, I think I bought that, and I got the Nolan, the 4-pack there where he had them Jokerized. But these Jokerized things and all these black lights and all that, I've
Yeah.
quit buying. That's just a character I really, really like. I'm not buying him just to try to complete it anymore because he's throwing out. If you try to complete McFarlane right now, you're going to have 2 or 3 jobs, to pay
Yeah,
for everything. He
and
keeps throwing it
that's
out.
what I liked about McFarlane because it was. If you want to collect them all, like when I started with Marvel Legends, I was completionist, so I wanted to complete every single wave. And like you said, I was buying characters that I didn't even know, like who they were, uh, had zero meaning to me at all. But I would buy it just to complete sets, right? I'm happy to say that over the last year and a half, I kind of got away from that. Now I just buy stuff that I like, and yeah, it took me a while to get to that point, but uh, that's what I liked about McFarlane. Like for anybody that want to complete all the waves and stuff like that, all the sets, it was easy. But now it's not. It's getting hard for that. You know what I mean? He's no better than Hasbro now for just like pumping stuff out, right?
Well, the variants, I mean, the chase figures, that's supposed to be rare. That's supposed to be a chase. Now he's doing a rare and doing a chase for pretty much everything he puts out there, and they're
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
I mean, they used to be limited, I think. One time somebody had posted an email on one of the Facebook groups I'm in from McFarlane. They'd asked the customer service, how limited are these platinums? And they had posted their response saying 3,000 figures. I can't believe that anymore. I mean, I found that Hawkman that's currently, I found that thing like 5 or 6 times. That the new Jim Gordon as Batman, the platinum. I found that about 5. I can't believe they sent that many of that limited of a run to my area where it's not, the population doesn't support, the sales of it. But
yeah.
I said a variant and a chase is supposed to be something you have to work hard to find. It just doesn't seem like they are anymore. Kind of takes
No,
some of the fun out of it.
it does definitely. Let's get caught up in chat. We have Millennium Workshop here. And we have our Man Clicks is a professional toy photographer. Don't let him fool
I like to
you.
change my answer earlier. EC collecting now goes into my top 5 because of that comment.
T3 Collects is always the Rex guy. Didn't even know what's up, Rex. One and only, I guess he's trying to say. Just off work, just joined. Thanks for stopping by. Oh my God, now they're just razzing on each other. Easy Collecting said, I always said my action figures are an extension of the movies I love. Do you collect movie figures or just comic book or just a bit of both?
I like getting some of the movie figures. If it's a movie that I liked, the comic book characters like the DC classics and things like that. I like that better. I like seeing the stuff that I saw on the pages back in the 90s and things like that. But most of the movie figs, I don't get into them unless it's, like I said, it's a movie I'm really excited about. The last movie line I guess I really got into was the Flash movie just because of Michael Keaton. Trying to find the Keaton Batman and all that stuff. But I mostly try to stick to the comic book characters.
Yeah. Those McFarlane Flash figures, they were a pretty solid wave.
Yeah, they weren't that bad. Supergirl was the only one I kind of had trouble finding. I was lucky on Keaton. I found him 4 or 5 times. But I think I only found Supergirl in store one time. Luckily, I bought her. I didn't have to lay around and wait.
Keaton.
They're coming. I haven't seen Keaton, but I've been seeing a lot of the Flash figures getting restocked lately. My local Walmart got 2 cases of the Flash, and then some of the ones I was hunting this morning, they had 2 or 3 cases of Batflex, hanging around there. They're still full price, but they seem to be coming back around again for whatever reason.
I'm thinking that's what's going to happen here. I was going to reach out and like resort to eBay or something like that, and kind of chuck out the extra cash. But I just have this gut feeling that it's going to show up here at some point in time. So that's why I never bothered to pay $60, $70, $80 for a Batman figure. I just feel like it's going to pop up here, right? Could be completely wrong.
Next Christmas they'll be at Ross for $4.99.
EC Collecting says he's completely done with McFarlane now. You're not the only one, EC or Colin. A lot of people are saying the same thing. I think McFarlane kind of rubbed a few people wrong with his last live stream. I checked out a portion of it, but I never really got into it.
I watched what RB had posted about it. I watched his, but I never did watch his stream to see what he really said in that.
I mean, I'm regardless of what Hasbro does, McFarlane does. If it's a toy, I'm going to buy it. I don't know if you're the same way. I'm in it for the toys, not the companies. Like we all know
Same
that
thing.
toy companies are greedy. Uh, but yeah, it's all about the toys for me. I'm not gonna not buy something if I really really like it. EC Collecting says the only thing he wants is an animated Batman line. Yeah, they are pretty expensive.
Yeah, $30 for those is ridiculous. And the cell shading on Batman, I cannot buy. I've tried. I mean, I want to buy that Batman figure. I love
Yeah.
the animated series, but it just looks terrible the way he put that
Oh, it
cell
does.
shading on it.
Yeah, 100%. Mad Collects is only collecting 10 inches right now. And sending it to T3. Keeping Batman as a source. But yeah, EP doesn't like, yeah. You'll get them fired up. I'll send you a Keaton Batman. I have 3 of them.
I got 4 of them right here.
Yeah. T3 offered to send me one too. The crappy thing, well, not crappy thing about being Canadian, but it's just the exchange rate. It's pretty ridiculous when you try to buy something and then shipping and all that stuff.
You know, that movie when I was a kid, that's one that and Jurassic Park blew me away watching it in the movie theater. You know, reading the Batman comics, but then seeing the darker version of it. The '66 Adam West show is all I had seen live action Batman. I don't know if there was anything else that time or not, but like I said, that was one I bought multiples of that figure. I started to do. I did my 1,000 sub giveaway. I said I've got 4 of the Keaton Batman back here. So I'm going to make that one of my prizes. But then I got to thinking about it. It was like I don't know if I can part with one of my Keaton Batman or not.
Do you usually buy multiples of the same figure?
If it's ones I like, you know, the only one I got stupid obsessed with was Vampire Batman when I first started trying to get into these gold labels. It's because I hunted it for so long and obsessed over. So it's like every time I found it, it was like I got to get it. You know, I've been trying to find it, but now I'll buy 2 sometimes. I find if I find one on clearance because I do like to keep one in box. Then I've got one that I can open and put on the shelf. But you know, the Keaton Batman, I knew I wanted more than one of those to have in the collection. But most of the time, I try to limit it to 2 figures because space, for one thing. You know, I hardly have space for the boxes, let alone to find more space for an action figure to stand out. But
do you usually buy one to open and one? Do you usually buy one to open and one to keep in box, or is only certain figures?
Certain figures. I don't try to duplicate every. No, I don't do. I should listen to the question for answering better there, but. Just certain ones. Like I said, like the Keaton Batman, I know I wanted to open one of those. The blue and gray Hush, stuff like that. That big carded Apocalypse Marvel Legend, I knew I wanted 2 of those when I found my first one to have one to open. But I said, just characters that kind of strike a core with that nostalgia again.
And I forgot where I was on the questions there now. What got you started in collecting?
As far as toys go, like I said, I go back to the text messages I got from my buddy years ago saying, "Hey, have you looked in the toy aisle to see what they're putting out?" And I told him then, I was like, his name's Bob. He can send he may get on here. I don't know. He's in a lot of the streams I go on. But like I said, I was like, man, I can't start buying toys. I was like, the way I get when I collect and the stuff they're putting out, I mean, I'll go crazy and I'll have stuff everywhere, which ended up happening. But that's what I didn't realize they were putting out all this retro stuff back then. It's probably pre-COVID. It's right before COVID actually hit and got pretty bad. But like I said, you walk down the toy aisle and you were seeing back then like those little small 3 3/4 GI Joes. The articulated ones were out.
Yeah,
you know, they had the Hiss tanks on the aisle. They had retro Ghostbusters. Like, man, they're gearing this stuff. This isn't towards kids anymore.
no,
you know, they're marketing to
all.
me. They're marketing for my generation to have this stuff. Ever since, it's been downhill ever since then.
Do you ever regret collecting or starting to collect?
I enjoy the hobby, but sometimes, like, you know, I didn't really realize how much stuff I had. I used to keep most of the stuff was in a bedroom closet in the house. But you know, you open up that closet and when you get something new and you go in and you're trying to find a nook and cranny to put it in.
Yeah.
And then you start putting it out here is like, you know, do I really need all this stuff? I mean, how am I going to keep all this stuff, you know, contained or whatever? And what am I going to do as the years go on and I keep getting more? That's the only, I guess, real regret I have of it is trying to think, what am I going to do with all this stuff? And then I was just like, I'll just pass it on to the kids and they can deal with it.
I regret going all in with Marvel Legends. I think I would have saved myself a lot of money if I didn't try to complete every single Build-A-Figure and then try to collect every single one of them, every single release. That's probably my only regret. I don't really regret starting collecting, but I do regret going as hardcore as I did right off the bat.
Yeah, I can relate to that too. Like I said, especially when, and I'm not trying to sit here and hate on McFarlane. I obviously love McFarlane. You can tell by the stuff behind me. But like you said, getting really into it, and then a whole wave comes out. There might be one figure in that wave that I like, but I end up buying the whole wave. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? Or like it's like, I go back to the Keaton Batman. I don't need 3 or 4 of the same figure on this shelf. I just need one, unless I want to open it. So that's something I'm really going to try to focus on and not buy multiples of things. And most of these mega figs up here, I just bought them because I saw them when they were cool and I got caught up in it. But I'm going to try to, I guess, call it smarter collecting, next year, and try to just quit buying everything and just kind of focus on more of what I want.
Yeah, for sure. Let's call up in the chat again. We have Jackie B here. Jackie usually stops by and checks out the streams. Thanks, Jackie, for stopping by. Now all those are Ollies. Me too, Colin. I wish I had Ollies. Ollies and a Ross. That'd be awesome. T3 says you're a completionist.
It's funny. Ollie's was like everywhere. I mean, every YouTuber, I was hitting all these stores over the place too. And it's just like all of a sudden, I related to that meme. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but the guy and the girl's walking down the street, and this girl in a red dress is walking by, and the guy's turning around, checking
around looking.
I mean, the one girl's Ollie's, and the girl in the red dress is Ross right now. Everybody forgot about Ollie's, for the new flashy thing that came about. So I wonder after Christmas, Ross slows down, if Ollie's will become a hotspot again.
Everybody, when they go on vacation, they just want to go to some tropical resort and all that stuff. I want to go on vacation, just go to the States and hit up a Ross and Ollie's, and then come right back to Canada again.
So I hunted some at Ross last year, and they had some good deals. But I know T3 and them have probably done longer than I have with discount stores, and probably attest to this. But I don't remember them having the stuff last year that they do this year. And a lot of that probably is because of backed up distribution, overproduction, and things like that. Yep. Related back to COVID and the distribution issues. But it's unreal this year, the amount of stuff they've been getting, and then the quality of stuff they've been getting as well. I mean, I can't believe the stuff you're finding for $2 and $3 a piece.
Oh, it's crazy. It's definitely worthwhile to check out your channel and T3 Clicks, and who else usually does Ross and Ollie's and that kind of stuff.
Collecting Havoc, Yukon Phil. He's doing a lot of them as well, and pretty much everybody. And I know you can still find some Ollie's content on there as well. Disavowed, he's still hitting Ollie's stores, and he hits Ross stores. But pretty much anybody that's popular right now in toy hunting, they're doing Ross content, or they're mixing it in with their others. I mean, kind of Walmart and Target's kind of become afterthoughts. I made a joke the other day with someone. I was like, right now, all Walmart and Target is good for is scouting out what you're going to see at Ross next year.
Pretty much. I watched you and T3, and you guys will walk past something. I was like, I'm yelling at the TV, right?
Man, Cosmos.
I wish I could talk to you guys in real time when you're doing a hunt, right? It's like, get that. I need this. But
that little Transformer Cosmos, I don't collect Transformers. I don't know Transformers characters past the original 80s Transformers I used to watch when I was a kid. But I got, and again, so many comments, so many messages. Oh my God, you missed a $200 Transformer in that one Ross store. And I had no idea. All I saw was a little Transformer there. I didn't know it was anything rare. I'd have picked it up. But that's bothered me ever since, and I realized I missed that.
I know nothing about Transformers. I remember watching it as a kid. Like, I know the characters, but for the sake of the toy line, I know nothing about the toy line at all. It's one of those things that I kind of wanted to dabble in, but I know if I get into it, I'm just going to go crazy with it. So I just avoid it.
No, they're too expensive too. They're a little too pricey. I buy some NECA every now. NECA is probably the highest end stuff that I buy, because I think they're $30 US. They're $35, $36 a piece usually now. I really wanted to get some Mafex stuff. I think their stuff looks great. It's like their Cyborg, Superman, and some of their comic book characters, but I can't get into it. I mean, look behind me. If I get into a line that costs that much, my wife's going to kick me out of the house for spending $800 or $900 on action figures a week. So
I stopped buying Marvel Legends, and now I'm buying SH Figure Arts. I'm really my son got me into anime, so now we're really into Dragon Ball Z. Pardon? You hear me now? Good now? Wouldn't be a live stream without some technical difficulties anyway.
I still can't hear you. Maybe mine might be messed up. Can anybody hear me?
Let us know in the comments if you can still hear two of us. I think everything's good on my side.
Let me change.
I can still hear you fine. EC Collecting.
There we go. I got you now.
Oh, okay, good. Get me worried for a minute here. Get me anxious. I forget what I was even saying. I think I was saying I just got into SH Figure Arts. My son and I, we started watching Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. So now I stopped collecting Marvel Legends. Now I'm buying SH Figure Arts, and they're way more expensive. So I don't know if it's a good thing. I know there's very few released every year as opposed to Marvel Legends, but at the same time they're probably double the price. So it's like
those do look good. GameStop. I don't know if GameStop's here to get those. I can't remember if it was Deadpool or a Spider-Man. They had one time I was in there last month or so. They keep them behind glass. You can't in that store. You can't get them out and just look at them. But I think it was like $99, something like that. And I thought, I may get that Spider-Man figure. And I was like, no, gosh, don't buy that. You'll start buying every one of them. Like I said, I'll be broke in no time. So.
I just start going crazy. Like I didn't even watch One Piece. We just started watching One Piece, but I seen this and I had to get this, and then I had to get this one. I got a big stack of them back there. I said I was only going to get one, and now I have like 10 or 12. So that sucks.
That's usually how it goes. It's always fun.
T3 clicks is one less person collecting Marvel Legends, so more for me.
Ask T3 if he ever found that X-Men wave at Ross yet.
Is that the Wolverine one, the 97 one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
I had my chances at that one.
I can't remember when these one came out. It's the Wolverine, Spiral, Multiple Man. He's found some of them, but most of the ones, I think that's the only thing in the Ross hunts that he hasn't found that I've been able to find. So I've got one up on him there. He's found everything else, man. His Ross stories have been the best I've watched on YouTube. The hunts he's had in there.
The only one I bought out of that wave so far is Wolverine, because I kind of have a Wolverine problem. But Wolverine and Hulk are by far my favorite comic book, and Spider-Man are my favorite comic book characters. And Colin says, wait till you buy a hot toy. I do have a hot toy pre-ordered. It's the Darth Vader. So, kind of looking forward to it. But at the same time, I'm kind of dreading it, because if I really, really like it, I know I'm going to buy more. And T3 is cursing you out right now.
There was a War Machine out for Hot Toys. The Punisher, had the Punisher skull. We had the War Machine armor on. I've wanted that thing, especially when I found out the armor was die cast on it.
Oh my God!
I started to buy that, but I knew then that nope, you buy that, and you're going to start buying those things, and they're way. I mean, what, $300 a piece? I think around there, something like that.
Yeah,
I can't swing that.
They're super expensive. So when it comes to collecting, is it still fun for you?
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, like I said, I love the hobby. There's nothing really. I don't see myself ever getting out of this unless I just get to where financially I can't, and I'll probably still find something that I can afford to get. But like I said, it's a rush. It's stress relief. I mean, I love this stuff. I can sit out here and look at this crap all day, story eyed, and be happy. So
I'm the same way most of the time. I get a little bit overwhelmed when I come downstairs because I have such a small area. I think if I had a big room or something like that where I can properly display it might be a different story. But right now, I'm like, I wish it was all gone. Not all of it, but like 90% of it. But I think it's, like I said, it's just a frustration of not having space.
I get the same way. Last night, I was the same way in here. I was trying to get stuff organized in here, and I added some more shelves on. And I thought, when I first had this room, the multiverse, I didn't have it all in here yet, but I had like 3 or 4 empty shelves. Now, last night, I had to try to fabricate and create another shelf to have more room for multiverse. And I guess the frustration with collecting, that's what it is. When you try to find that space, and I'm the type, I want to display everything. I don't want to put stuff in totes and put it on a shelf. If I've got it, I want it out here to look at. And it's just, as much crap as I got, it's not feasible anymore.
Yeah, like I was telling you earlier, I'd say 90% of my stuff is all in paper boxes. and just in storage, and it just kind of sucks, right? The man collects. Will be one of those Hot Wheel collectors next. Do you collect the Hot Wheels?
I got into those pretty. The reason I got into Hot Wheels, I've always liked die-cast cars. Always been a car nut. But during COVID in my area, that was the only thing that was still around was Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
The stores were still getting Hot Wheels. So I couldn't buy action figures that time, so I started buying Hot Wheels. And then by the time I started buying them, they dried up. But the Hot Wheels collectors are hardcore. I don't know about where you are, but I know when I go to Target, if I get there before they open, there's one group of older guys, and I mean they're like 65, 70 years old,
Oh
that
yeah.
always congregate at the door. And they're
Yep.
all cordial with each other. How you doing? I'm good to see you. Hope you find good stuff. As soon as they open the doors, there's one that
John.
wears a hoodie. Man, he almost shoves them out of the way and takes off down the aisle running towards the diecast. But yeah, that's probably going to be me when I get older.
Yeah, we do have a few here. I have a few of my good buddies or people I used to work with are Hot Wheel collectors too. And but yeah, they go to a store, and as soon as they get boxes in, they just the stores here are pretty decent. They work with them. They bring out a box, brand new box. Let them pick through it, and whatever they don't want, they just kind of put out. So it's good that way, I guess. Well, yeah, I haven't seen any crazy Hot Wheel collectors here. Hot Wheel collectors are worse than Funko collectors.
The Hot Wheel guys are hardcore around here. I mean, I've had a couple times I've been filming. I've had to turn my camera off because of one of the Hot Wheel guys is cussing out the store employees, saying, "I know you got this blankety blank stuff in the back. You're just holding it or whatever." And
Yeah.
yelling at these poor store employees because they can't find the car they want on the shelf. I mean, I get aggravated if I can't find something. But I've never gotten rude with an employee just because I can't find it, on the shelf. But
Yeah, I
they
think
got
when you get
hardcore
to
about
that point
cars.
collecting, you need to take a step back.
Yeah, if it's
Because
that
it's it's more of a addiction than a hobby at that point. I think when you start cursing out employees for not getting what you want. But so is there any toy line that you like just hate? You don't understand why people like it?
The biggest one for me, and this is one of the most popular toy lines, I think, among collectors, I don't get Mythic Legions. I'm sorry, I don't get it. I don't get I mean, they're cool. Don't get me wrong, they are cool.
Yeah,
I've got a 4 horseman. I got the headless horseman up here, but
yeah,
I just don't get the addiction and the appeal with the Mythic Legion stuff. But then again, I don't collect it, so I buy a lot of McFarlane. People don't like that, so.
yeah.
Like that's the one though, the biggest one now. I see every channel has got Mythic, and that you see the 4 horsemen at conventions, and man, their tables are getting this swarmed with people. It's like
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, they're cool looking, like you said, and they are awesome looking figures. But I never got the appeal to them at all. But most people, when I ask that question, they always say Funko Pops.
Funko is another one, but I kind of like the Funko Pops. To be honest with you, I can't. I collected them at one time before, but they have every license known to man. I mean,
Yeah.
they've got everything out there, and like I said, there's just too much. I'd have, like I said, this whole room be stacked floor to ceiling with pops if I stayed into collecting those. But I only get ones now. Every now and then I'll buy one, but yeah, Funko will probably be my second one that I don't really get all that much. Why it's so popular because there's so much of it. I don't see how they make any money. They have so much
No.
production
Yeah,
of it. So.
licensing, it got to be crazy, man.
Yeah, I can't imagine what they're paying for some of the licenses they got. Like I said, they got everything. I mean,
Yeah.
even like off the wall, Twinkies. I mean, damn snack cakes.
Everything.
Funko Pops to them.
Like a Cheetos, like Chester the Cheetah. Like they got everything. Mascots. They got, oh my God, you name it, they got it at some point. You know what I mean? But it's T3 Clicks says Hot Wheels collectors need therapy. I never bought employees. Don't even ask them looking back for me if it's not there. Yeah. Very rarely. Valaverse. Now, I like Valaverse, but I don't like. I don't feel a connection with Valaverse, so I never really dove down that rabbit hole. But they are cool, and I'm a big G.I. Joe collector. But G.I. Joe it was my childhood. So I remember the cartoon and all that stuff. So I'm familiar with characters. Even though Valaverse are similar, I'm just not familiar with characters and all that stuff. So Cowboy Collector says he puts on a red shirt and khakis and just walks into Target store and grab what I want.
That's not a bad idea.
Tall Joe's HQ says, "Hey there, man collects."
What's up, Tall Joe?
So do you have any childhood toys? Any toys
Oh
that
yeah,
you had when you were a child?
I got about everything. I mean, to be quite
Yeah.
honest, the big ticket stuff I had. I mean, I used to have all the original Transformers. I had Castle Grayskulls, all the Motu. Mom got rid of that stuff. We had a USS Flag.
Oh
I
my
think she
God,
sold
really?
it for probably. I guarantee she sold that thing for 10 and $20 at a yard sale back in the day. But
Oh
now the
man.
stuff I had when I started getting older, I've still got all my retro Turtles. I've still got all those Toy Biz X-Men. I've got a lot of Kenner, Batman, and stuff like that. Coming up. I got the first when Marvel Legends first started. They had the little 3 3/4 articulated figures that led into
Yeah.
the Legends we got now. I've got about 3 totes full of those things, and I've got a lot of the first run of the Marvel Legends. I quit buying those. I just didn't care much for them at the time, but yeah, I've got a lot of stuff I had when I was all the turtle stuff. I've got the play sets, the party wagon, the module, a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
like that. Only thing I
Awesome.
don't have that I don't have a Technodrome. I got to get that one of these days.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wish I had a lot of my GI Joe stuff. I had the big headquarters, and I had like tanks and dirt bikes and like all the gear. I had a lot of that stuff. I wish I still had that stuff. Wish I still had my turtles, but kind of is what it is. Hopefully one day I'll find it and track it back down. But the price of retro toys, man, are crazy.
That's one thing with me. I'm trying to complete some of the old Kenner lines, and luckily some of that stuff's not that valuable. It's easy to get. Like the Man of Steel. There was in the mid '90s. They had those Superman figures that came out, and
Yeah,
it didn't last very long. That's right before Kenner sold to Hasbro, and I don't think Hasbro didn't continue that line. But like I said, it was all. I'm trying to get that now, and it's $10-15 a figure. Trying to go back and get it. There's only like probably 30 figures total, so that won't be
yeah.
that bad to get. But
Oh, not that
yeah,
bad at
some of
all.
that stuff I can't even imagine trying to go back and to get like retro turtles on card or something like that are in good shape. I mean, you're going to break the bank trying to get stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
like
of
I
course,
tried to go
GI
back
Joe
and
vehicles. Ugh.
yeah, I tried to go back and get some GI Joes, even like the figures, just trying to get some of those complete. I'm looking at 80, 90, like to $200 Canadian, just to get a GI Joe figure. And I mean, I like collecting, but I don't like collecting that much.
Yeah, I can't do that much into that stuff. And the only thing I've got retro that I pay or vintage that I paid a lot for. Well, I didn't pay a lot for it, but it's probably more than I probably should have. But the '92 Kenner Batmobile from Batman Returns, the one where you push the button on top, if you know, and it splits the sides off, makes the Bat missile. I
Oh,
wanted
okay.
that
Yep.
so bad when I was a kid, and my mom would not buy it for me because I already had a '89 Batmobile. I was like, "You've already got that. You don't need that one." But I did pick that one up here 2 or 3 months ago from eBay. That's probably the most expensive vintage purchase I've made. Most of the vintage stuff I try to get as cheap as I can. I don't care if it's on card or if the card's perfect or not. I just want to have it to stick on the shelf. But I am going to try to get. I want to get a lot more of the old Kenner stuff, like the stuff I used to really play with. Some of the Batman stuff like that. I want to get that on card to have, and then
Yeah.
some of those old Toy Biz figures. And luckily that stuff it's not that bad. Try to go back and get it now.
Yeah. Do you buy any loose figures, or you always need it on card or in box, or?
Uh, it depends. If some of the stuff I don't care to buy it loose, but most of the stuff, like especially in the, I guess I go back to the nostalgia stuff, like the Superman figures, I want all that on card because
Yeah.
I'm going to have a spot on the wall. I'm going to try to hang most of those in here, kind of like on a peg thing. But like I said, it just depends on what the figure is. If it's something I'm just wanting to have loose to stand on the shelf, I'm cool with buying it that way. But I guess something I'm considering to be a collectible more than a display piece, I want it on card.
Yeah. I will buy loose figures, but it's got to be complete. That's my only rule.
Mhm.
But it would just drive me nuts.
I was
I
getting
would
ready to say the
focus on
same
pieces.
thing.
Yeah,
If
it
I
would
bought
drive
it and
me
it was
nuts
missing
not
one little,
having
I
it.
would probably think in the store like, "Oh, it's not going to bother you. It's a good price. Go ahead and get it." On the way home, I'm going to be on eBay trying to find that one little piece
Yeah,
listed somewhere
yeah.
that I can
I
get.
have done it. I have done it in the past, and I'm like, you know what? I would just obsess about it until I actually completed it. And yeah, it drives me nuts. I have some. Yeah, I have a big pile of Joes, and I have no accessories, and it drives me nuts. I feel like just selling them off because I would not focus on it then, right? Be a nice one open to play with.
I don't want to know what he's talking about.
No, only God knows with T3. Do you have your favorite? What was your favorite toy as a kid, and do you still have it?
Oh, my favorite stuff as a kid. I love the turtle stuff, but honestly, the Toy Biz comic book characters. Like I said, I blew. I mean, I was obsessed with turtles too, but I really got into comics and
Yeah,
stuff like that. And I loved having those comic action figures. That's the biggest thing to me. That first series of Marvel Universe that came out, there's on like the gray card backs and stuff. The Punisher, I think Punisher, Captain America, Daredevil, all that. That's my favorite stuff right there. Like I said, I love that stuff from when I was a kid. That was my favorite. And then moving into the X Men, as I got into those, as I got older, all those little Toy Biz X Men figures.
Yeah, awesome. So what can you try to narrow it down? I know this is a hard question for a lot of collectors, but what is your top 5 figures in your collection right now?
Oh, I always say that my favorite one. I don't know if you can tell with the glare, but this is probably my favorite thing that I got because the story of me and Kelly going to get it. But I got to meet Kane Hodder that played Jason Voorhees. He
Yeah,
signed that. This is my favorite piece in my collection. I don't know if it's the most valuable or not, but I like that just because I love these movies and met him,
yeah,
and he made fun of my name. It was great. But that would be one. The Carded Apocalypse figure I've got would be another one. He's one of my favorite characters. Doomsday that came in that new Superman 2-pack. I really like that Doomsday figure. If you go back a little bit older, there was one if they made it for the Batman Returns line and then the Dark Knight collection, but it's Iron Winch Batman. It's a blue gray outfit on a Keaton face Batman figure. That was my
okay,
Batman when I was a kid. That's one of my
yeah,
top favorite things there. And then the original Casey Jones figure. I think that makes 5. But I throw that in there. I love that Casey. That was my favorite Turtles character. My favorite figure of that whole line was that retro Casey, and I'm really hoping they're pumping those things that back out now in stores. They got to
yeah.
put a Casey out eventually. I got to have one
I'd
of
say it's
those
a matter of
retros on
time.
purchase.
Yeah, for
I got
sure.
to have that to hang on the wall out here somewhere. I can't afford a
Yeah,
vintage one, so
I collect those. I collect the retro line. Have you gotten into the Mutant Mayhem ones on cards?
I haven't. Some people say the movie. I know T3 and there's a lot of others saying the movie's not that bad. I just can't get into that. That changed it too much. Looking at the characters, what they were to what they are now, and
Yeah,
those aren't the turtles I remember. So I haven't gotten any of those. Like I said, the only thing I found of those that I thought was cool. I was hunting with Kelly, with my wife, and the Genghis Frog figure from that has that little button on the thing where he sticks his tongue out. That's kind of cool. But other than that, that's the only thing I really saw out of those. It was kind of interesting. I just don't
yeah,
have much interest in getting those. The retros I'm still with, but not the Mutant Mayhem.
yeah. I wish I could. We don't see a lot of the retro turtles around here, but I'd like to have a full set on card and a full set to open and play around with. But yeah, I mean, they're if we do find them, they're kind of like $30 a pop, and there's a lot
Oh,
for
really?
a retro card figure. Yeah, sometimes you get them on sale, or sometimes you get them. They'll show up for like 14.99 Canadian, which is not too bad. But a lot of like comic book stores and stuff like that, they'll have them for like 24.99, 29.99, like that, and it's a bit much to if I already have one to spend that much to have one just to open. So if I ever find them cheap, I'll pick them up. Collecting Havoc series, so well, dang, I got home late to catch the whole thing. You can always watch the replay. Team replay Havoc. What's next? What's your? I think I already asked you what your top 5 figures in your collection, and when I asked that, you said that the Jason figure was your favorite figure in your collection, so that takes care of that question. Have you dropped any lines since you started collecting? Or are you still collecting the same stuff that you always collected?
Uh, Not completely. I've slowed down a lot. Like I said, I used to about like you said, I was almost a completionist on Legends there for a while, but now it's few and far. Most of the Legends I bought probably in the last year have come from Ollie's and Ross, older ones that are at a discount. I
Yeah,
bought some new ones there, but I'm probably going to have to scale down a little bit. I was buying Best Action Turtles. I've quit buying those now. I've got out of that. That's probably the only one that I've quit cold turkey and not bought any from. I don't buy near the diecast that I used to anymore. But to say I'm completely out, probably those Best Action Turtles on ones I've quit completely. Everything else I say that I've quit, I still buy one every now and then. So
yeah. I started with the best action. I just got like a lot of the main characters. I never got deep into all the repaints and re-releases, and but yeah, they are pretty cool. They're not great figures, but they are like cool.
with me, it seems like they do the supporting characters better than they do the actual turtles. I think the turtles figures don't look that great, but now the Shredders, the Casey Jones, the April O'Neils, the Bebops, the Rocksteady, they look great. But
Yeah,
then you look at the turtles and something about them, I just don't care much for
yeah. Especially the first release, they're really really bright green,
them.
and
They
it's
look
just way different.
cartoony. The other ones look kind of cool. They just look too. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. There's something I just don't like about those.
Yeah, they come with a lot of accessories, and the price point's not too bad.
If he would like to, I can walk over to the side there and get them all and come show them to him.
Oh, you got to do it. Do
I
it for
won't rub it in
badness.
that bad.
I think you already answered this one earlier as well. Do you see yourself stopping collecting anytime soon?
I am going to scale back a little bit. I need to get more, like I said, I guess more direction of what I'm trying to collect. But as far as outright stopping, I mean, it's going to take something financial or medical where I just can't get out and get it anymore. But I said I need to slow down. Especially now with Ross. I mean, I'm finding stuff in there. I think we were talked about it when we were live or we were in the back before we started. But
yeah,
I'll find stuff now I don't even collect. But I'm thinking it's $3.99. I mean, that manga spawn. I bought that thing. I didn't need that, but it's a mega figure, McFarlane for $5.99. I bought a Mandalorian figure. I've never watched the Mandalorian. I watched some of season 1, but it was $3.99. I'm like, I could do something with that. And the Halo figures, I like the Halo games, but I have no interest in the figures. But I bought them because I found them cheap. That's something there I got to get away from. It's not just buying it because it's cheap.
Yeah, for sure. What's the best line currently in your opinion? Like, who's killing it? What toy company or what toy line is the best in your opinion?
I know when I was on Undisputed, I said McFarlane for Toy Company of the Year, but not really based on quality. If I'm going on quality figures and ones that look, great, I probably got to go with NECA. I mean, if you look at their movie figures, the Turtle 2-packs, I liked the third Turtle movies, don't get me wrong, when I was younger, but it's not the strongest movie. But those figures look great. If you look at the Part 1 Turtle figures, NECA, that looks like they just, in my opinion, they stepped off the screen and into those boxes.
Oh, man, they're amazing.
But NECA kills it as far as nailing a likeness to a character. I mean, they're to me, they're second to none for the price point, especially on those. But I give the nod to them. Quality over quantity. I'll give the nod to them on their figures. Wish a little bit cheaper, but they got the best looking ones, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I love this guy.
Oh, Alf!
Like, that's one of my favorite figures. And even the older ones, like I'm big into Godzilla, but I mean, I wish NECA still had the license for Godzilla. Now, Hoya Toys are doing a great job too, but I really like NECA as well. And I have RoboCop too, and that one's fantastic.
Oh, the NECA figure, yes, that's awesome. And the Predator figure. Have you got any of the Predator figures?
I have 3 or 4 NECA Predators. I have Bad Blood Enforcer 2-pack, and I have City Hunter. And I do have a few of the Hoya toys. But yeah, the Predator ones are amazing as well.
Yeah, I bought 2. I didn't know anything about Hoya toys, but I found it on Amazon. It was like they were dirt cheap for some Predator figures. And I got 2 or 3. They're in my storage unit. I don't have them here to mess with, but I bought a couple of those to mess with because of the price point. And they look pretty good when they came in. I got a NECA Predator from Part 1. I'm going to take out of the box when we get done. That's going to be my Christmas tree topper. I saw a picture online that somebody had at the top of the tree, like it was holding on and looking out there. And I showed it to my wife, and she's like, well, you can do that if you want to. But I think Kelly might have thought he's not going to open his Predator figure just to put it on the tree. And she was right. But she didn't count on me getting on Target and buying another one. So now I've got one to open that's going on top of the Christmas tree.
I asked my wife, can I put Goku on top of the tree just kind of powering up? And yeah, she said no, but I thought it was a cool idea. So what do you think is the worst line currently?
I'm trying to think of one I don't really enjoy all that much. The ones that I buy, I've had the most QC issues. I hate to crap on Hasbro, everybody does, but the Hasbro figure, most of the G.I. Joes, and I really like the look, a lot of the classifieds, but I've had a lot of the same issues everybody else has. You get them out and they're wobbly, they're loose. I've got some of them before, and the ones I have open, they've got 2 right feet, but it's the QC issues on that to me kind of makes me, I'm a little hesitant about buying them sometimes, especially if it's one I know I want to open. But I enjoy the Joe line there, but I've had the most issues, I guess, buying those. McFarlane, I used to have a lot of issues with him with the joints and stuff being stiff. It kind of made me kind of crap on him a little, but I have to give the nod to Hasbro on that right now.
Yeah, awesome. What is your favorite comic book character of all time?
Punisher, hands down.
Punisher's awesome. And I think you're already
Batman's going to be 1B on that one, but I'm in Punisher comics. I loved that when I was a kid. I probably got the most Punisher toys out of anything, retro, vintage, currents, whatever I can find. I hate how they've ruined the character in the last little while, but man, those 80s and 90s Punisher books to me were gold.
Yeah, awesome. So I think you already answered this, but DC or Marvel?
Uh, when I was a kid, I definitely would have said Marvel, but as I got older, I like the DC stories better. I probably give the nod to DC Comics now, looking back overall. And that makes me sad because X-Men and Punisher comics I really enjoyed through the late 80s and into the early 90s of the stories they had. But overall, I'd probably give the nod to DC for some of the stuff. Death of Superman, Return of Superman, that whole storyline blew my mind when I was a kid. Nightfall, that whole thing with Batman. To me, that's some of the better stories I've read in my lifetime for comics. So I got to give it to DC.
Favorite DC character?
Batman.
Yeah. I figure you're going to see Batman because there's a lot of Batman in the back there. So kind of a personal, or two personal questions. Not too personal, but do you listen to music? Are you into music?
Oh, big time. Well, I say big time, not as much as I used to be. I love 80s rock, Metallica, Megadeth, stuff like that. If you look at my music library, my Apple Music, I mean, it's kind of varies. You'll find 4 or 5 White Zombie songs, Metallica. Then you'll see, George Strait and some other stuff in there. But
Same way.
yeah, the 80s rock stuff's my favorite stuff. The metal bands.
Top five favorite bands.
Metallica's number one by a long shot for sure.
Yep.
I don't know how to rank the rest. I'm just going to throw them out there. Megadeth, I loved White Zombie back in the day. Oh man, who else I like to listen to? Motley Crue is another one. I love Motley Crue. I'm going blank trying to get my phone and look, but I would definitely go with Motley Crue, Megadeth, the M's, Motley Crue, Megadeth, Metallica, Guns N' Roses. I love Guns N' Roses back in the day as well.
Yeah,
and I'll throw AC/DC in there.
Yeah, AC/DC is good as well. We have similar tastes in music, anyways. Favorite top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Ooh, that's a good one. Again, it's hard for me to rank them, but Batman '89 is always going to be in my top 5. Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park, the first one of those. Forrest Gump as another one for number 3.
That's a great movie.
Oh, what else can we throw in there that I watched a lot? Predator, the first Predator for sure.
Yep.
And then I want to round it out. I want to use a Rocky movie. I'm trying to think of which Rocky movie I want to put in the top 5. Rocky 2. Movies. I have to go with Rocky 2.
Yeah, Rocky 2 is awesome. Rocky 4 is my favorite. Sad about Paulo, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the training montage, and but I love Rocky 4. It'll always be one of my favorite movies of all time. EC Collecting says Titanic.
Oh, Titanic. I used to run a movie theater back in the day, and Titanic was actually in theaters when I started working there, and we had a security guard, and the dude made the same joke every night. People would buy tickets for that movie, and he'd always lean over and say, "I don't want to spoil the ending, but the boat sinks." And that's all I can think about is him saying that over and over and over again when I hear Titanic mentioned.
Oddly enough, I've seen Titanic a lot. I grew up in a small town, and movie theater, basically we didn't have anything to do. So if you took a girl out on a date, we'd go to Titanic. And it was such a big movie that it actually played so many weekends in a row. So I've seen Titanic quite a few times.
My nephew, he's 30 years old now, and he was a kid. But I had the VHS back in the day was 2 tapes where it was so long, but he didn't want to watch the first tape. He always wanted to watch the second tape when the boat sinks. But Lord have mercy, I've seen the last hour and a half of that movie probably 1,000 times in my life when I used to keep him. That's all he wanted to do is watch that movie.
I haven't seen Titanic 2 yet, though. It's one of those low budget films, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I do like a bad movie. Sometimes me and my buddies would talk about like horrible movies, and we'll just watch them and make fun of them. But I haven't ventured down to watching Titanic 2 yet.
I got to get back into the movies. I got caught up. Movies used to be the centerpiece of my life. I ran a movie theater for 10, 12 years, when I was younger. So I went from knowing everything about them now to not even being able to tell you what's coming out. But like I said, movies, you got to love the movies. That's one thing that makes me sad. You got it's nice to be able to sit in your home and rent a movie and watch it at your own pace, but nothing will ever beat the feeling of going to a movie theater. That's one that makes me sad to see that kind of dying out now. But like I said, hopefully it's going to stay around, but they'll never be like it was.
No, for sure. Especially when I was young, when I was a kid, I used to love going to theater on the weekends and stuff. one
And
of the
there's
things I
some
look
movies,
forward
I
to.
don't care what kind of high definition TV you got. Some movies are just not as good unless you're sitting in that
No,
movie theater. I'll go
I
back to
can't.
Jurassic Park on that. Jurassic Park is nowhere near as thrilling watching it on a TV screen than sitting in surround sound and feeling those
Oh yeah,
footsteps of dinosaurs on you, man. That was awesome.
that's like I can't wait to see Godzilla -1. I love to see that. The movie itself is doing really really well, and a lot of people say it's one of the best Godzilla movies. But I'd love to see that at theater. Hopefully, I can get out and see it at some point.
I want to see that as well.
Millennium
Have you watched
Workshop said
Godzilla?
you're a Swifty.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah.
You don't miss
I
the
think
Taylor Swift?
she single-handedly ruined trying to watch Sports Center and NFL highlights for me. They talk about her more on the stands for the Chiefs games than talk about football games anymore.
And T3 Click says, "Leave my girl Taylor alone." Yeah, Blockbuster. I used to
Oh,
love on
yes.
weekends too, going out and renting movies and stuff. I know you can rent them online, but it's not the same. Going into a Blockbuster and browsing the movies and renting a couple movies and going home and spend your weekend watching movies. I kind of miss. I really miss Blockbuster and Jumbo Video and all that stuff.
There was 4 or 5 back home, but my wife, when I moved down to where I am now, it's her hometown is where we moved to, where I moved to. But she grew up, cut her teeth in Popcorn Video, their local rental store here, and it was actually still open when I moved down here. It closed about a month after, but I've actually back here behind me. They gave her one of the shelves out of the store, so I've got a little
Oh,
like
okay.
one of the little center aisles there where all the movies would have sat. I got a lot of my collectibles sitting on it now. But yes, I grew up in the movie theater industry, and she grew up in the video rental industry, so we're both kind of partial to the old movie stuff there. But there was nothing better than Friday night than going to the store and trying to find something to rent for one. And then the movie rentals. A lot of the kids are missing out on memories like that nowadays with the streaming stuff. So.
Especially renting video games. You go to
Oh yeah.
Blockbuster, take out a game for a night or a week or whatever it may be, and then you just bring it back, right?
And then you get one you really like, and you're trying to keep yourself awake. You're sucking down caffeine, trying to stay up all night and play it because if you're going to try to beat the thing, you got to
Yeah,
take it back like the next day or something. So.
yeah. Do you play video games?
I used to be a big gamer. I've kind of gotten out of it the last few years. Call of Duty was probably the last ones that I played hardcore, but I haven't played one of those in forever. I know I've got a Switch now. They just put the Arkham games out. I think all of them on one thing for the Switch. I
Yeah.
want to try to get that. I bought the Turtle game that came out, Shredder's Revenge. I haven't finished it yet, but I've got that one. But I used to play games all the time, but when I started working and all that, I don't hardly have the time anymore.
Yeah, I've tried to make time. I kind of took a break from YouTube, and I've been focusing on games just as a stress, just to reduce stress and just kind of take your mind off stuff. So I've recently started playing games a lot, not a lot, but way more than I did. But I'm
And
having
Madden
fun.
football, I used to buy Madden football every year for whatever game system I had, but I probably haven't bought that game. I'm trying to think of probably 2013 might be the last one that I bought, but I used to be big in the Madden football games, but yeah, that and Call of Duty was my bread and butter there for a while. But I said that's another thing. I've gotten older. I've kind of went to the wayside. My
Yeah.
wife and my kids, they're big gamers. Kelly plays Nintendo stuff all the time, but
Oh, okay.
I don't play as much as I used to.
I'm really big into Diablo and those top-down dungeon crawler type
Mm-hmm.
games. That's always been my go-to. Video games and stuff. Shredder's Revenge is good. I played the first few levels. I got to finish it though.
Yeah, I do too. I didn't say I played it hot and heavy like every night. Then all of a sudden I put it down. I just haven't went back to it. I got to get back in there. But one thing I would like to have out here eventually is some old coin operated arcade machines.
Yeah.
I came close one time. The X-Men, the 6-person X-Men arcade thing was on eBay. And this might have been in the late 90s when I had no place to put the thing where I was living. But I used to just throw bids out on crap on eBay, knowing I wouldn't win. I think I bid like $1,200 on that game or something at that time. Or maybe it's less than I can't remember. But it got in like the final 2 or 3 minutes, and I was still a high bidder. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get it here for one? And what am I going to do with it? But luckily, someone at the last second, sniped me in there and got the thing. But I would love to have a couple of coin operated machines to have out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss those days. Jackie B says she's currently playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. I haven't played that one yet.
I haven't played Tomb Raider since it was on PS1.
Oh my God.
I did enjoy those games though back in the day.
I did too, but I used to get stuck and I didn't really have social media and internet and all that stuff to go through. Like we get stuck on a game now, you can just go on YouTube and figure out how to get past a puzzle or something like that, right? I
And like I
remember
said, these
playing Tomb
kids,
Raider.
they got it made. They got it made with games nowadays. I mean, it may just be me. Games are not near as hard as they used to be.
Oh,
I
nowhere
mean, it's
near.
pretty easy now to play a game and beat it, and you put them on an old NES game playing, and then play Ninja Gaiden or something like that and try to
Oh
beat the
yeah.
thing, see how much fun
Oh
they have
man,
with it.
because you're like 3 or 4 hours in, and all of a sudden you die, and you know what you got to do? You got to start right back from the beginning, and get
Mhm.
there again. And you die. You got to. No wonder I'm insane.
Or you have the fun too with the old cartridge systems when you're playing it and you're getting high up in there and close to beating it, and you look at the screen, you see a little glitch starting. Then that glitch starts to spread. And
Oh
it's a
yeah.
matter of time before you can't see the screen. You got to take it out and blow the cartridge and put it back in. So they don't know
I
the
remember
stress
my
level of that
parents
stuff.
getting upset with me. Why are you getting so mad? It's only a game. It's only a game. And I'm like, I just spent 4 hours of my life getting to a certain point, and I died. But it's no like unless you play games, you cannot explain to anybody that don't play games how frustrating that feeling is.
Back in the Nintendo and Super Nintendo controllers, I mean, I don't know how many of those things I've gotten. And it's stupid to do it. I know I ain't gonna say it's the right thing to do, but breaking those controllers and getting mad, you turn around, hit them on something. My chair, my room where I used to play video games, my bed sit right beside of it, and the footboard on my bed came up about that high. Well, I would play it like somebody mentioned Street Fighter. I would fight Sagat or Sagat, whatever how you say his name. But
Yeah.
when he beats you, sometimes he'll throw his head back and laugh. That used to piss me off so bad I couldn't see straight, man. I'd take a controller and start banging that controller on the footboard of that bed and break the
I'm
thing out
usually
and go buy another one.
I'm usually pretty good, but the one thing that I can't play without getting upset or pissed off is racing games. For
Mario
whatever
Kart.
reason, like you're kicking everybody's ass, and in the last lap, everybody just magically catches up to you, and one of them will like hit the back of your car and just put you off the road or something like that, right? Nothing enrages me more than that.
Madden football. Back when I ran the movie theater, we'd have downtime every night, waiting for movies to let out to clean the cinemas. Well, I would take my PS2 down, hook it up on the TV in my office. I sit there and play my Madden games. But I used to do the season stuff all the time. And I would trade and build my team up and stuff. But a wide receiver would miss a pass, and I would get mad and be like, you're cut. I'm trading you. You're off this team and all that. And those kids that work for me are looking at me like, you understand it's not real, right? He can't hear you.
It's real to me, damn it.
It's real to me, damn it. That's right.
And Collecting Havoc says Battletoads, and I remember Battletoads. That's I can remember that being a hard game. I don't know if it was just me, but I found it really, really hard.
Did you ever play Contra for the first Nintendo?
Yes.
Oh man, we still have that hooked up in there. Kelly and I still play that.
Oh, okay.
And I had to use a cheat code to get through it. I can't do it on. I got one of my friends. He can play that game and beat it without dying one time. I don't know how that dude can do that thing. We still play that every now and then. We'll sit and play through Contra, and then our kids will sit and play it. They love playing that stuff, which surprises me with the new flashy systems they got. They still want to play that old Nintendo.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. I think I'm just too spoiled now with all the new flashy graphics and checkpoints and all that stuff. But I play the weirdest stuff. Like I'm playing Power Wash Simulator right now.
I remember that was an app where you had to wash the stuff off there. I used to play the dentist game where you clean people's teeth and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. I love that game.
I'll tell you one, it's maybe something to get into.
Just like cleaning cars or cleaning houses and whatever case may be. And I'm looking at I'll look down and I'm like 2 hours, or I'll waste 2 or 3 hours just cleaning the house.
Well, cutting grass. Kelly's playing a game right now. She said, "Don't make fun of me," but said when I lay down at night, I play this, and she showed it to me. And it's the thing where she takes a mower and she just mows the grass. Like I used to do the same thing.
Simulator.
You mowed a cornfield, cutting corn out of there. I used to play stuff like that all the time. Like I said, it's a dead game.
Lawnmower Simulator too.
But I tell you one thing, this might be a sensitive topic. It is. Tell me I'll shut up. But there's a game for Nintendo. It wasn't made by Nintendo, but it's called Bible Adventures. And it's got stuff in there based on, it's 3 games on there, and it's based on the Bible. One of them is Noah's Ark, and you got to collect animals and get them into the Ark. Well, one of my friends stayed up here one night with us and was playing it. And that game is hard. But he was getting mad, and he laid it down. He said, "Man, there's no way that a Jesus game should be this damn hard."
I haven't played that one. I don't remember ever seeing that one, to be honest with you.
I had never heard of it, and I got her Nintendo for Christmas a couple years ago. And she wanted that, and I thought, man, that's got to be an obscure game. That's going to be $500 or $600. And then luckily, it was like $10 or $15 on eBay. But it wasn't. I don't think it was actually sanctioned, made by Nintendo. It was a third-party company that made it. But it's fun, to be honest with you. It is. It's hard. I mean, trying to go through that stuff.
Goat Simulator. I played that one. It's a weird game, man. Very weird game. My daughter actually started playing it too, and man, you go into a cave and there's like everybody's like gathered around, and there's a séance, and it's like what in the world? Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts. The people that
You
made
want to
that
talk
game
about an
are
ego check? I got it was when a Nintendo they made those little classic ones you can plug in. They had like 30 games programmed on it or something. But I
yeah.
used to play Mario games like crazy. I was good. I was a Mario pro back in the day. But we got that and we started playing Mario Brothers 3. Kelly's playing it and she's beating every level like crazy. I could not get off the first level. I kept dying on the first level and losing all my continues. I kept looking at her like this is embarrassing.
Yeah, those games are hard. I think they're hard. Mario games, I don't know, man. It takes a special person to get through Mario games. I don't have the reaction time anymore.
Like I said, this generation's soft with the games they've got. They didn't grow up playing the hard stuff we did.
Yeah, for sure. Jackie B says she loves Power Wash. I haven't played all of the DLC yet. I know there's Back to the Future where you can get missions based off of Back to the Future, so you can do the DeLorean and all that stuff. And there's a SpongeBob SquarePants, I think DLC too, so you can clean, I guess, the buildings from SpongeBob SquarePants. So I haven't heard of that game. And Final Fantasy, Tomb Raider that are free. SpongeBob and Back to the Future are the paid. Yeah. Okay. Marvel Strike Force. I played that briefly. I'm not really big into phone games though. Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, it's a good game. I don't know if you ever played Metal Gear Solid.
I played. There was one of them, I think, for the PlayStation back in. I can't remember if it was Solid or what it was, but I played. But it was the one where you can sneak around and hit a button, like he turns into like a box. He puts over him and stuff like
Oh,
that. But
yeah. I
I
don't know
played the
which one
Metal
that
Gear
is.
for the NES, but the more advanced Metal Gears I haven't played. And Colin mentioned Oregon Trail. I remember playing that in like junior high school. That was on one of the game systems there. You talk about a hard game. That was an insanely hard game as well.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that game at all. Our brothers is enough. These fees for anxiety because
That is true.
for sure. All right, man. That was all my questions. I usually try to keep it an hour. We went an hour and a half because conversation was good, so we keep it going. But yeah, man, just plug yourself. Let everybody know where to find you and what you got going on, and if you have anything upcoming for your channel.
Instagram, you can find me on there and give me a follow if you want to. Try to post things on. I'm trying to get a little better at posting on Instagram and trying to get better at the messaging part of it. Now, I was new to that platform, and if anybody's watching that sent me a message that I didn't respond to, I mean, I apologize. I didn't know a lot of that stuff goes into a filter. And if you don't
Yeah.
go to your message request, I had like 75 messages in there the other day. I had to go in. Some of them went back 2 or 3 months, but you can find me on there. I now know how to use it better, so I'll respond to you. But then, YouTube channel, The Man Collects, subscribe. As far as plans for the channel, just keep on pumping out toy hunting content. I would like to change it up eventually and do some different stuff, but I don't know when or if or when that'll come. But for now, it's going to be toy hunting and popping in some of your all's live streams, and you'll have me and just trying to keep growing in the community and all that good stuff. But really appreciate you having me on. Like I said, you've been a supporter of mine from day one. I appreciate that. You've been one of the better ones to meet on here, and I appreciate the support. And like I said, almost 10,000 subs, dude. That's awesome. Don't sell yourself short. Your stuff's doing great. There's a lot of channels that don't even get 1,000 subs, let alone 10,000 subs.
Yeah, I think I'm 432 away from 10,000. So it's it's I don't even know what to say. But you're what, 40 away from 1,500, you said?
I had 1,456 unless I've lost some here. Let me check it again.
Yeah. So if anybody watches this, check out The Man Collects. Help get him to 1,500. He said he'd like to get to 1,500 before the end of the year. I think you said.
I'm going to try to. So I've got what Christmas season. I may not get that. If I don't, it's no big deal. But so I'd like to hit 15. If I hit it before my 1 year anniversary, I'll still consider it a win. So I got a little bit of a grace period there until I get to January 12th. So.
Awesome, man. Like I said, thanks again for stopping by. I keep my circle pretty small when it comes to having people on my channel and their group chats and all that stuff. I kind of gravitate to certain people, like yourself. You're one of the few that I met in the groups and all that kind of stuff. That we have very similar sense of humor. And yeah, so it was awesome finally getting a chance to sit down and have a one-on-one to get to know you a bit better. And for any of my subs that kind of watched, at least now you know all about the man collects. So thanks again for stopping by. T3 is rubbing it in, and he said he's 17 away from 1100, which is fantastic.
I tell you what
Hopefully
I'm
you
going to do.
guys.
I'll say this and I'll shut up. I'm going to go create 17 YouTube accounts and subscribe to him, and then I'm going to unsubscribe from every one of them.
Oh, to be honest, man, I subscribed to you on like four different channels. I even went on my wife's account. I subbed to you in T3.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, there's a few. I'm subbed to you like 4 or 5 times.
Same thing. I've got this channel. I've got one we use for work. I'm not supposed to have subscription on that one, but I got most of you guys on there as well. And then my personal, I've got 3 that I've got subscribed to everybody. So
yeah. And also for anybody that's in the chat that has a channel too, like T3 Collects, Collecting Havoc, Cobweb Collector, and we have EC Collecting, and who else was there that had channels? Go check those guys out too. Awesome channels, awesome community, awesome guys. So go check those out. And that being said, thanks again, Man Collects, for stopping by. I appreciate you taking time out of your night, man, to come join me on the channel and have a chat. And it's been fun, man. Thanks again for popping by.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up our Saturday Night live stream, channel spotlight, hangout, whatever you want to call it. As always, my friends, thanks for stopping by. Hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Man Clicks and everybody in the chat. And thanks again for stopping by. Hopefully you guys have a good night. Keep collecting. Stay safe. Go buy some toys.